Good morning, everyone. I'm Robert with OpenLane Funding in Spokane Valley, Washington. And today is actually an important day for every landlord in the city of Spokane. The eviction diversion ordinance just went into effect. So we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the full Spokane and Coeur d'Alene market right now with the updated April data. And we're also going to dive into what all of that means for your investment strategy right now. As of today, June 1st, the Spokane Pathways to Eviction Prevention ordinance is now in effect. Here's exactly what that means. Before you can file for a non-payment eviction in Spokane, you are now required to go through a mandatory 30-day diversion process. The city has funded $2.9 million in state allocation through June of 2027 just to administer this program. So, practically speaking, if a tenant stops paying rent today, you're looking at a minimum of 30 additional days before you can even file. And that is on top of the standard pay or vacate and filing timeline. In the worst case scenario, your total eviction timeline from missed payment to possession could extend to 60 to 90 days or maybe even longer now. Here is something most landlords do not think about until it's too late. With an extended non-payment timeline, that's now baked into Spokane law. This is the right time to pick up your phone and call your insurance agent. You want to make sure that your insurance policy has adequate loss rents coverage, and that's sometimes called rental income protection, or rental loss coverage. It can be called several different things. Stop loss coverage. A lot of different things to these insurance companies. Just talk to your agent and tell them what your goal is. But if tenant stops paying and the eviction process runs 60 to 90 days, that is 2 to 3 months of rental income or not. A well-structured policy with the right stop loss limits means your insurance carrier is covering that gap while you work through the legal process. Personal cash flow or your personal cash reserves are not taken ahead. So review your policy limits. Make sure the coverage period is long enough to catch. To make sure the new realistic eviction timeline is worked within it. And if you're not sure what you have, just ask your agent specifically about loss of rent coverage tied into tenant default. They'll know what you're looking for. And this is not just property damage, right? This is specific to tenant default coverage. If you own Spokane rental properties, your property management procedures needs to be updated today as well. Your lease agreement should reference the diversion process and any DSCR loan underwriting into Spokane properties going forward needs to reflect the extended vacancy risk. Downsides. It does not mean you cannot operate successfully as a landlord in Spokane. It does mean your cash reserves, your screening process, and your insurance coverage just became more important. Now let me get into the Spokane April market data from the Spokane Association of Realtors. The official April numbers remain at 525 closed sales, which is up 9.8% year over year. Pending sales at 765, and that is up 14% year over year. The median sold price is 420,000, which is down 2.8% year over year. But intra-period mid-May MLS data is showing something interesting. Average days on market is compressed to approximately 11 days from the January high of 54 days. That is 57% compression, telling you that the well-priced properties are moving extremely fast right now. Meanwhile, 62.8% of homes are selling at or above listing price. So there's slight softening from the 64.7% in the official data, but it's still a majority. At the submarket level, Deer Park leads Spokane with 78% of the homes selling at or above list price, which is the highest tracked. Liberty Lake shows the widest gap right now between asking and sold. For investors, the average sold price is $213 per square foot against $233 per square foot asking. That's approximately a $36,000 underperformance on a average 1,800 square foot home. That spread, that's your negotiating opportunity. So Washington state home insurance rates also just posted their first ever decline. And it's not by much. It's only down by 0.5% as of May 1st. But after 3 consecutive years of double-digit insurance increases, around 16.6% in 2023, 21.7% in 2024, and 8.9% in 2025. That is a direct affordability improvement of your DSCR underwriting. Insurance is meaningful. It is a meaningful line on any rental property. The Coeur d'Alene Regional Realtors just released April data, and this is the most significant positive data point in the Pacific Northwest right now. April closed sales in the CDA region is 319 homes. That's up 7.8% year over year. The real transaction activity, and that's real transaction activity. Pending sales are up 26.4% year over year. That's enormous forward demand signal. The resale median price came in at $554,000. That is up 3.6% year over year. After months of price softening, CDA is showing a genuine positive turn on price. Active inventory is at 1,200 homes, which is down 14% year over year. Month supply is sitting at 3.7, and the average days on market is now at 77 days, and the sale to list ratio is 97.8%. Post fall submarket, the median is 534,000, which is up 2.7% year over year, and the sales to list ratio is 99.4%. Post falls is absorbing in 2.5 months. For investors who have been watching the North Idaho, Post Falls is showing the tightest fundamentals in the Kootenai County market right now. One important land constraint to know about as well is the Coeur d'Alene tribe finalized the purchase of 42,750 acres of timberland south of Coeur d'Alene and from Stimson Lumber, and that happened earlier this year. That acreage is now permanently removed from the private development. And in a market with supply constraints, that kind of permanent land removal is a long term appreciation tailwind. Now, let's get into your action plan for the week. Step one, if you're a Spokane landlord, today is the day to update your process. Renew your leases, your property management procedures, your insurance policies, and your screening criteria. The 30-day diversion process is now in law. The step two, the CDA resale median turning positive at plus 3.6% with pending sales up 26.4% is a market that is outperforming Spokane on price right now and has for a little while now. If you've been comparing the two, CDA deserves a fresh look for acquisitions. Step three, Post Falls at 2.5 months of supply with a 99.4% sale to list ratio is the tightest submarket in North Idaho. Pricing discipline is uh, now required, but the fundamentals are definitely there still. The Washington State insurance rate decline is real. Update your DSCR spreadsheets and rerun your coverage ratio in Spokane. Call your insurance agent if you've gotten a policy within the last 12 months. See if you can get better math or better numbers. The math looks way better than what it looks. Step 5. June 11th is now 10 days away. The Spokane Senate or the Washington Senate Bill 6026, which brings by right residential development and commercial and mixed use zones, takes effect June 11th. So if you're evaluating a commercial corridor property in Spokane, the development feasibility math is about to change. I'm Robert with OpenLane Funding. I hope you all have a great start to your week. I'll see you Tuesday.